Hey, good morning, everyone. I am coming to you from sunny Withensea today, and thank you for your patience. If you've been waiting for this session since yesterday, I thank you for waiting and thank you for watching, because yesterday was one of those days that just ran away with me. So it is good. It is all good because we're here now. So let's get these slides up so we can see what we're talking about today. You've been waiting for it. It's about social media, how to get ready for social media, and hopefully that is appearing now. Let's get this going. Okay. All right, so we should have the slides on the screen. There's a bit of a delay apparently, so let's just see here. Is it going to come up? I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be. Let's try again. Sometimes it's strange. So let's try again. Okay. Well, that should really be on, shouldn't it? That should be on. Technology, right? Here we go. Yes, it's just very slow on the restream. Okay, so let's get going. What we're talking about today is we're talking about, are you ready for profitable? No, that's email marketing. That's wrong. Social media marketing. That's social media marketing. So there you go. It's all the glitches are happening. All the glitches are happening this week. It's my last week before I go away on holiday. So I have been trying to pedal double time, if not triple time, to try and get a really nice breakaway and just reset and completely shut down for 3 weeks. So this is my last live stream. This is my last session for 3 weeks. I'll be back in September. And I haven't decided yet what we're going to be talking about in September. So I opened it up to you guys, as I always do. Let me know, what is it that you're trying to get ready for at the moment? Are you creating a new landing page? Are you doing a VSL, a video sales letter? Are you going into telephone calls? Are you doing telephone marketing? Are you phoning people and connecting that way? What are you working on? Tell me what it is you're working on, that you're getting ready for or planning to do in terms of marketing, and just drop it in. Just drop it into the comments. Let me know what it is, and that way I can prepare for you my top tips on how to just maximize on the profitability of that activity. So here are my 5 top tips for social media marketing success. First of all, set your goals and map your strategies. Be super specific about what you want to achieve with your social media. It is one of those kinds of channels that can be very distracting. So you need to be super specific about exactly what you want to get out of your social media. So make sure that you clarify to yourself exactly what you want to happen. And then don't be vague, like, I want loads of sales. That's very vague. Everybody wants sales. So, but what can be achieved with that channel? Do you want to talk to 5 people every day on social media about what your service is and ask them if they want it? That's very, very specific. 5 people a day you want to tell about your service and ask them if they want it. Okay, be that specific. It needs to be attainable. So loads of sales through your social media is probably not going to happen. Your social media isn't a channel for making lots and lots of sales. It's a channel for being social and making lots of relationships and building on those relationships. So talk to people again, ask them questions, be curious, make it attainable what you can do on that channel. Okay, on the social media channel you're talking about as well. Try and be specific about each channel if you can, but don't get bogged down on that. If it's overwhelming, don't get too bogged down on that. Just treat every channel, if it's overwhelming, treat every channel the same until you get used to it, and then you can start going into the nuances of each and every channel. Okay, content. What kind of content do you want to share on your social media channel? Now, your social media channel is also like your vital statistics for your business. It's one of the vital statistics of your business. Like, for example, if somebody's met you somewhere on a networking and they go onto your social media channels, they can see how recently you've posted. They can see how often you post. They can see the quality of the content that you post, and they will get an impression of your business and you. Okay, so what impression are you trying to leave with your audience? What exactly do you want them to feel about you, think about you, and even say about you? So, your content needs to reflect what credibility you want to generate in, on your channels. Okay, choose your channels. Which social media? We talked a little bit. I just talked a little bit about it then. Don't get bogged down on which channels and how to treat them differently. Which channels do you like is a really good place to start. If you like typing and static images, then go for that. If you like memes and quotes and things, then go for a channel that is more about that. So Instagram, for example, is more a visual type of channel, very sort of aesthetic orientated. So use that channel if that's something that is, you want to reflect about your brand, about yourself. Perhaps you love video. Maybe you like talking as much as I do, and I do like talking. Maybe you want to be on channels like YouTube or TikTok even. I mean, TikTok's not all about the dances and kids, crazy trendy tricks and stuff. It is actually a really good place for business when you look for those kinds of content. So is that something that you want to get involved with, more video type content? And then, of course, the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a really dynamic channel that loves the video, that loves the live stream. It loves typed, long form and short form. It's very, very flexible in terms of the types of formats. It's a very professional place, but it is also a place where you can express your personality in a witty, friendly way. So definitely, consider all of the channels and choose which ones you want to start with. Go for one to start with, get really, in a pace with that if you're just getting started. And if you've been going for a while on social, just take stock of which channels are getting the most traction, which channels are performing better, and then double down on the ones that are working the best. Okay, so write down your goals. Top tip, write down your goals and strategies, how you'll measure and how you'll track. Just write everything down. It doesn't have to be in a fancy spreadsheety thing. Just write it down somewhere. Maybe not on a napkin, but write it down somewhere. Open a folder, open a folder and call it your marketing strategy folder. Open a document and put in social media strategy, and then just write down your goals, write down your thoughts, write down what you'd ideally like to happen with that channel. Okay, next is knowing your target audience. Now, this one appears in pretty much every single one of my talks, right? It is crucial because not only for social media, excuse me, not only in social media is it crucial because it's how you'll determine which channel to choose. When you know who you want to talk to, you can go and find where they are, where those people are. It also helps you determine what you're going to be talking about. So what do your ideal target audience care most about? I'm sorry I keep touching my face. It's very hot, and yeah, it's crazy hot, especially in my garden studio. What do they care most about? Your target audience, you need to know them. Define what are the questions that they're wondering about? What are the concerns they have? What are the problems that they have that you can help them solve? What do you want to help? What questions can you answer for them? And really sort of brainstorm around this, because this piece done properly will be really useful for not only your social media, profitable social media marketing, but also for loads and loads of other tactics that you're going to be using in your marketing. So spend some time on this. Ask questions, ask people, do a little bit of fleshing this out. Do a little workshop with with yourself and with perhaps your ideal target audience, people that you already know, friendly people that you already know who are your target audience. Ask them questions, get curious. Define their demographic, like, what age group do they seem to mostly fit into? Are they mostly parents or mostly unmarried, or all of these things? Where do they mostly tend to be living? This one location is, lately in the world, we can be anywhere and we can do loads of things with loads of people across borders because of this amazing machine screen thing. So that one doesn't, but it does help to know if, for example, you want to speak to more US people. Perhaps that's something that you want to do. Perhaps, you're in the US and you want to speak to more UK people. That is useful to know, like capture it. Then you can decide, right, where is there a great audience? Which channel has the most of the people that I want to speak to? Okay, I want to speak to professional financial services people. This is all about, my niche is all about financial services, legal services, highly scrutinized services like cyber and even CBD, those kinds of highly scrutinized, highly regulated industries. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to brokers, commercial insurance brokers, commercial mortgage brokers, commercial finance brokers. I am talking to you. This is the stuff that is going to take your brand from your marketing, your social media marketing, and your brand from sort of average results to starting to get really lucrative, profitable conversations, right? This is the stuff. So choose which platform carefully. Where are the people that you're looking for? And then connect with your target audience. And the way you do this is you advise them on their biggest concerns and questions and problems. You look after them. You sort of reach out and try and put an arm around them and say, you know what, I've got your back on this. I can help you. Let me show you some answers to your questions. Let me show you how I can address your concerns. Let me show you some of my solutions to your problem. Show and demonstrate the really, really key points here. Knowing your target audience is where it all starts. The third is about humanizing your brand. And what I really mean by this is that your business brand is multi-dimensional, okay? there are various different aspects of your brand that your clients, your customers will experience when they work with you. And even before they work with you, because they'll have seen things that you do. They'll have seen you on social media. Maybe they've got an email from you. Perhaps they've seen an ad, on social media or on Google Ads. Maybe they've seen one of your ads. Maybe they've heard a radio ad or a TV ad. They will have experienced you on very many multiple dimensions. They'll experience your customer service when you onboard them. They'll experience, your services and your products and how you work with them. And if there's ever been any issues or problems, how you've dealt with those. If you've experienced people giving you feedback, how you've dealt with that. All of those things, all various different dimensions of your business and how it operates. And our duty, especially on social media, is giving a glimpse into each of those various different dimensions. And the way we do that is through stories, brand stories. They're called brand stories because really what we're talking about is the meaning of the brand and the experience of the brand. Okay. And that can be anything from, how you invoice someone, how you take payment, to, how you onboard somebody, to what services you provide. So try and tell the story from very varied different dimensions and include what your brand and your business stands for. Okay, it's really important, especially in highly regulated and highly scrutinized industries. These are sensitive transactions. That's why they're highly regulated. So be transparent about what it is you stand for. Help your audience know what your brand means to them. Display your culture. Share if you guys, if your team, if your business are out there doing awesome things for charity, doing fundraising, display your culture. If you hang out and go partying, like show that. It's part of your story. It's a part of who, what your business culture is. So share those things. Demonstrate your values and your culture. So the top tip here is to tell the stories that align with both what your ideal target audience cares about most and your brand values. When those two things marry up, then those are the stories that your audience really want to hear about. So we're moving on next to number 4. Learn from your mistakes. Now, with social media, there are going to be times where perhaps the story isn't the happily ever after story. And I think especially with social media, I talked about those multiple dimensions. Sometimes things go wrong in your business. Sometimes we, make a mistake. I mean, for example, just the other day, my Xero went a little bit mental and sent an invoice out 3 times to the client instead of just the 1 time. So I think there was a bit of user error. So, that was probably my mistake, but it wasn't intentional. It was an error. I got control of it. I sorted it out, but it's a story. I take accountability. I apologize for the mistake with the client, and we got back on track. We just, sorted it out. So when we have those kinds of things, the way we deal with mistakes and things that come up in the business that haven't gone smoothly, shall we say, the way we deal with those things, those are stories that really give an insight to your audience about how you work and how you deal with issues that arise. Again, when it comes to social media, we can make mistakes in the actual posts. So one of my tips here is don't edit out typos and grammar mistakes. That affects the algorithm. I mean, try not to make them. You know, nobody intentionally makes a typo or a spelling mistake. But if you do, don't get hung up on it. Don't like start deleting things and reposting things and stuff. Just chill. I mean, social media is even, I think there's an expression about today's news is tomorrow's chip paper or something like that. It's even faster with social media. It's not really something, you know, that we need to massively worry about. Obviously, if it is going to be a harmful post, then a harmful mistake to have on there, but I wouldn't worry too much about minor typos and grammar mistakes that don't affect the meaning. Chill is what I do. I just chill, and tomorrow I'll make another post, and that post will get bumped down to the, you know, yesterday's news. Top tip: use mistakes as opportunities to learn instead of the sort of blaming and shaming. Oh no, I made a typo. Oh no, you know, it's an opportunity to learn. Put in checks and you know, more checks and reminders. Use softwares and tools. There's a great tool that I use called Grammarly, which is free. Just run that over everything that you're posting, and you will be good to go. So and if you've got comments that are perhaps less favorable, you know, address them. The way that you address them reflects again on the caliber of your authority and your confidence and your brand. So you know, address them. It all forms part of how you show up and your credibility. And finally, choose your way of doing social media. So in terms of frequency, channels and formats, don't get hung up on, you know, I've got to post 7 times a day and, you know, or more, you know, I've got to do a live every day. I mean, yesterday, for example, was my day to go live. It's my day to do content, and stuff happened and I'm here today instead. Don't get hung up on like any formula. There isn't a magic formula. If you haven't worked it out yet, there isn't a magic formula. It matters what energy you're in. It matters how you show up. That's what matters. So if you're going to post 7 drippy posts, then don't post at all. Post one that's like full of your energy, that really reflects your brand, that shows, you know, a few dimensions of what you're doing in your business, rather than, you know, spreading that energy out into like a few little drippy, boring posts, right? So figure out what your frequency is, what you're happy with, you know, what your business needs, and then go with that frequency. Choose the channels that you feel most confident on. Show up there. Don't show up on channels where you think, this isn't really for me. You know, there's no need. And formats, if you prefer written, then do that. There's always a way to convert a written post into an animation. It's very possible. It's not a big thing. You can make a video, you know, like a little image montage, put some words over that. It doesn't have to be talking to the screen. If you're not a talking to the camera kind of person, then don't make yourself do it. Okay? Don't make yourself do the things you don't want to do. Find a way around it. It's good to have lots of different formats. Social media loves the videos and all of these things, but if it's not your thing to talk to camera, don't do it. Just create another way. you can write a script, talk it over an animation. If you don't like your voice, there's AI now that can do all sorts of things with video and voice and stuff, that there's tools that are free all over the shop. So, you know, find some way to make that happen. And if you have any questions then about how to do that, reverse engineer your preferred way of creating content into different formats, and come and have a chat with me. So the top tip here is start with what you enjoy doing. Get good and consistent with that before you layer on top more things, or things that perhaps you'd find more of a challenge. Start with your comfort zone. I know that people say you need to be uncomfortable and all of these things, but when it comes to generating content and showing up on your social channels, start where you're most comfortable and then push yourself to the edges of your discomfort from there, because you'll build confidence, right? You'll start to enjoy it more, and that enjoyment will reflect and show through your channel, through your content, through what your videos and, you know, what you're saying, right? So that's where I recommend you start. And as I said before, if you need any help, have any questions, call me for a chat. This is my number. If you want to scan the QR code, that should take you to my website. And I did say that I don't have a session planned for next week, but that is the session that I had planned for September, SEO marketing, if it's something that you're interested in. But I really do want to hear from you guys what it is that you're working on, so that I can give you some of my top tips for how you can really max out that profit and get that going, you know, like get the juice, as much juice out of your activity as possible. Because let's be honest, these activities take a lot of effort. So scan the QR code, book into the next session. I think I need to redo the registration link to I think it's still showing that there's going to be one next week, but there's not one next week. I will post another event, and it will be for the first week of September. So if nobody gets back to me, we'll be talking about SEO marketing. Okay, so it's been a pleasure as always. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend when it arrives for you. And I will see you at the start of September. Take care.